Good afternoon. Welcome all to True Believers Prayer and BID, where we believe in faith, family, and community. So today I will be your prayer for the prayer today. And the Lord gave me a topic last week on the topic of trust. So if we could all get our minds in a posture of prayer and just get our spirits together. God, we want to come thanking you, first of all, for allowing us to be here together, gather together on the YouTube, on Facebook, in hearts and minds, to want to hear your word, to hear what you have to say to us. God, we thank you for today. We thank you for allowing us to have purpose for the day. We thank you for allowing us to be fed. We thank you for allowing us to be nurtured in body and in spirit. We thank you for clearing our minds of all distractions, clearing our minds from doubt and negativity, clearing our minds from wantingness and desires and covetousness of others, oh God. We thank you, oh God, for clearing our hearts and removing those things that do not look like you. We want to thank you for clearing our hearts of negative attitudes and personalities and spirits that have caught on from others, oh God. We want to thank you, oh God, for purging us of past spirits, unlawful bondages that have come from unlawful, sinful things, oh God. We want to thank you, oh God, for removing the stain from our hearts and the stain from our spirits, oh God, that has been linked to generational curses, oh God, and from guilt and shame, oh God. We want to thank you, oh God, for removing negativity from our lips, complaining from our thoughts, and negativity in our environments, oh God. We want to thank you, oh God, for having a peaceful workplace, oh God. We want to thank you, oh God, for having a peaceful ride home, oh God. We want to thank you, oh God, for having a peaceful relationship, oh God, with our family, with our friends, with strangers, oh God. We thank you, oh God, for just being who you are. We thank you for loving us dearly, loving us wholeheartedly, oh God, never wanting us to fall in a trap or in a snare that the enemy has set for us, oh God, never wanting us to slip up here or slip up there, oh God, that you always make us aware of what is coming before us when we lean to you, oh God. We want to thank you, oh God, for opening our eyes to even our own wrongdoing, oh God. We want to thank you, oh God, for allowing your spirit to dwell in us richly, oh God. We want to thank you, oh God, for your words speaking and uttering from our lips, oh God, the speaking to us also, oh God, downloading from your spirit, oh God. We want to thank you, oh God, that our feet are prepared to do your will, oh God. We want to thank you, oh God, for the pains in our bodies bringing us to you. We want to thank you, oh God, for even if it's a migraine or a headache, oh God, that we can bring those concerns to you and you cause us to be healed. You cause us to be whole. You cause us to be one with your spirit, oh God. We just want to thank you, oh God, for all things, for the manna, for the bread, for the water, the living water, for our homes, for our transportation, even for our bus tickets, oh God, if that be so, or even for our legs, if we have to walk, oh God. We thank you, oh God, for those things, oh God. We thank you for this sunshine, oh God, killing whatever needs to be killed, oh God. We thank you for the heat causing others to trust in you more, oh God. We thank you, oh God, for your atmosphere being here in Texas, in Georgia, in Florida, in Michigan, in California, in Australia, in Germany, in Tennessee, in Kentucky, oh God, nationwide, globally, oh God. We thank you, oh God, for your spirit. God, we trust in you. We thank you, oh God, that your word says trust in you only. There's many scriptures in there that tell us to not trust in man, but to trust in you. That our trust is to be to you solely, oh God. So God, help us in those areas where we falter or waver in trusting you, oh God. Let us look to the fathers, oh God, in your word that showed us what it means to trust in you, oh God. When the prophet trusted in you for rain, oh God, let us look to him, oh God. When look to Moses, oh God, for trusting in you, for giving him the right words to say to the Pharaoh, oh God, looking for the direction to go in the wilderness, oh God. Trusting in you to provide the water that was needed for the children of Israel, oh God. Trusting in you to part the Red Sea, oh God, trusting in you to guide his people, your people to the promised land, oh God. We thank you, oh God, for your every word, oh God. We ask that you shower down, download whatever it needs to be download into our spirits, into our hearts, into our souls, oh God. If we're faltering in any area, oh God, let your word be the thing that we trust, oh God. Let your spirit be the only spirit that we trust, that we don't trust in voodoo or witchcraft or necromancers or witch doctors or demonic principalities, oh God, but that we trust in your spirit, oh God, that we trust in your spirit, oh God. There's many spirits in this world, oh God, but we only want to lean on your spirit, oh God. We want to be led by your spirit, oh God. We want your spirit dwelling in us, oh God. So remove any spirit that is not like you within your people, oh God. Cause us to follow after you, to please you, and not the spirit within that's trying to take over. Well, even if it's our flesh, oh God, help us to have self-control over our flesh. Help us to override our flesh with your spirit. Let our spirit be your spirit be stronger than anything that we can encounter, oh God. Let us trust in your ways, oh God, not our ways, oh God. Even if you're telling us to go in a different way, oh God, let us trust in that way, oh God, because you're protecting us from something. You're getting us to some place. You're showing us a way for a reason, to a new purpose, a new abundance, oh God, that we have not seen before, oh God. So let us close our eyes or have on blinders like horses do in the race, oh God. Let us only be focused in the way that you have us to go, oh God. Even when it's uncomfortable, oh God, that we trust in your way, oh God, that we trust in what you say at the time, even though we don't see it, oh God. The miracles happen when we have faith and we trust in and have faith in your word, oh God, and trust in you and what you said. So, God, let us remove self, remove doubt, and trust in you. We thank you for the healings that are going to take place, oh God. We trust that everything that you said will happen when you said, how you said, with whom you said, oh God. We thank you for the healings from the mind, body, and soul, oh God. We thank you for your soul being imparted on us, helping us to breathe this life that we have here, oh God. We trust that this life is not in vain, oh God. We trust that you know what you were doing when you put breath in us, oh God, when you allowed air to fill up our lungs, oh God. We thank you, oh God, and trust in how you wanted us to be, oh God, that we don't look at what media is telling us, what people have fashioned to be this or that, but that we trust in your divine way, that we trust in how you design things to be, even though it goes against what culture says or the world says, oh God, that we trust in your way. Because your way is always better for us. Your way is always good and plentiful. Your way is always producing fruit. Your way is always making it better for us, causing us to have long life, causing us to have everlasting joy, causing us to be fruitful in love, being fruitful in self-control, being fruitful in wanting those things that you have, oh God. So we love you, oh God. We ask that you never leave us, oh God, that you always stay with us, oh God, that we learn to trust you even more day by day, as we read your word, that we trust you even more, oh God, no matter what man says or try to say, no matter how close the relationship is, oh God, that we trust in you, oh God, that we know for the shadow of a doubt that yes, you said this, even though they wouldn't understand it, but we understand what you said, and that we hide it in our hearts, even write it down if we need to, and keep reminding ourselves of what you said, to continue to trust in you, continue to trust in your vision for our lives. Continue to trust that our purpose is in you and not in what our family said we should do, or what significant others said is good for us to do, but that we trust in your vision for our lives. That we know what we are to do because we trust and lean to you, oh God. Thank you for opening our eyes that money is not our God, but you are our God. You are the only God, this all sufficient God that can give us just what we need. We don't need money to feel it. We don't need food to feel it. We don't need pornography to feel it. We don't need people to feel it. We don't need exercise to feel it. We don't need all these things the world can give, but only you can give life. Only you can give direction in the right way. Only you can give just what we need at the right time, at the drop of a dime, right when we need it. When we're looking for hope, you give it to us, oh God. When we're looking for comfort, oh God, your spirit gives it to us, oh God. When we're looking for joy, oh God, you drop something in our spirit to cause us to be enlightened all over again, oh God. When we're looking for love, oh God, on this in this world, oh God, you show us that you've always loved us, even when we were in our mother's womb, oh God. So we trust in you, oh God. We trust in the you as the God that was the God before we were even born or thought of, while we were still in the heavens, oh God, not even being thought of here on earth, oh God. We trust in you because you see our path from the beginning to the end to the beginning. So we thank you. You knew we would do this. You knew this was coming our way. You knew that was around the corner. So, God, cause us to trust in you more, oh God. Open up our hearts, open up our ears to hear you more, open up our mouths to thank you more. Thank you for the drops in our spirit, oh God. Thank you for the songs that come out of nowhere to bring us comfort and joy, oh God. Thank you for the sayings that you give to us in our isolated time, or when we're busy in our mind, oh God, to settle us, oh God, to calm us, oh God. We thank you, oh God. We trust that you have our best interests at heart, oh God. Just as Solomon trusted you, oh God. We trust you to help us make the right decisions in our lives. We look to you for guidance. We look to you for instruction. Show us who we should be around. Show us who we need to let go of. Show us what we need to stop doing. Show us what we need to pick up and do, whether it's on our job, whether it's at home, whether it's in our daily lives, our single lives, our married lives, our motherhood, our fatherhood, our daughter and sonship, oh God. Show us how we can make our lives better in your eyes, oh God. Whether it's uncomfortable, whether we've never seen anybody in our family do it before, God, we trust you. Whether we've never heard anything like that before and don't know what to do, how to get it started, oh God, we trust you. When we don't know what words to say, we trust you. When I don't know which way to go, literally in the vehicle or walking, we trust you. When you bring them to us, oh God, for an encouraging word, we trust you. When it comes to even speaking your word before people, oh God, we trust in your spirit to give us the right words to say. You said that wouldn't have to write it down, oh God, but that your spirit will say what needs to be said. We trust you, oh God, because it's in your spirit that there's life for the individuals that are hearing. It's in your spirit that we become oracles of you, oh God. It's in your spirit that knows every situation of man, oh God. Not in our flesh, not in our knowledge of what others may say, God, but it's your spirit that causes change, that causes peace, that causes that causes resurrection, oh God, from the dead things, oh God. We thank you. Your spirit causes us to live. So we trust you. We thank you for our daily bread. We thank you for being our Father. Your scripture says, Abba. We thank you for being our Abba, oh God. We thank you for being long suffering with us, oh God. And it just helps us to trust you even more, oh God. We thank you for being faithful and merciful, oh God, which helps us to trust you even more, oh God. All the things that we're looking for in man, oh God, you can trump all of those things, oh God, because you give us just what we need at the right time. So we trust in you. We thank you that our tires did not blow out. We trust that the mechanic that you take us to will do just what he's supposed to do without being deceitful, without trying to steal our money, that you open up the right opportunity to witness of your goodness and testify of your greatness. We trust that the right doctor you send us to will have anointed hands to heal us and have the spirit within them to know, no, this is not right. Let's look into this further, that they place their hands because they are a child of God on us and to pray with us, oh God. We thank you, oh God, and trust in your way. We trust that that is the right school for our children, oh God, because you showed us that is the right neighborhood for us to live in because you led us there, oh God, that is the right position and job for us because you led us there, oh God. And when it's time to leave and that season is over, that we trust in you, that we don't get so comfortable in receiving a check or or get so comfortable for knowing the routines of the day that we relinquish all trust in you because now this is different. I don't know what's happening next. I don't know what to do, but that we trust in your word, oh God. Any place that we go to, oh God, is just a resource. You are our source. So wherever you place us, we know we will be taken care of, well taken care of. So God, we trust in you, whether it's here or there, whether it's in Texas or in California, we trust in you. Whether it's in Katy or in Tomball, we trust in you, oh God. Whether it's in Pasadena or Baytown, oh God, we trust in you. We trust in you for provision for this land, oh God. We trust that it's in the right place where we can do the most things for ministry purposes, oh God. We trust that the amounts, the rent will be just what it should be, oh God. The mortgage will be just what it should be, oh God. That the right people will come with the right finances at the right time, oh God. That doors will be open, oh God, so for donations and 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 tithes and offering from other places, oh God, for people that are not even here, oh God. We thank you and trust in you, oh God. We thank you for multiple streams, oh God, and dreams that you have given others that are connected to True Believer, oh God, that yes, they can do it because you called them to it. Yes, they can do it because you called them to it. Yes, you can do it because he called you to it. Yes, they can do it because you called them to it. So, God, we trust in your word. We trust in your way. We thank you for all these things and we give you praise because just as you did it for our fathers before us centuries ago, before Christ and after Christ, you can do it for us today, tomorrow, 10 years from now, 100 years from now, oh God, from generations to generations, oh God. We trust in your word, we trust in your way, and all these things we ask and give thanks. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mrs. Mitchell, for that prayer. Thank everybody that's tuning in this Wednesday to our Wednesday night bid, which is Break It Down discussion. We thank you guys for being here. Last week, we took a week off, and that's what we kind of do in between books. Um, we had just completed the Book of Wisdom, and once we got done with that, we took a week off. Now it's our week back on. And with the week back on, this week we got a new book to go into. And this book that we're going into this week is the book of Judith. Um, once I started trying to figure out what book we were going to go into, it just stood out to me. Like, we have to read some of these other ones, we have to learn some new things, and this one stood out. So, we're about to get into it. That's what we are on this week, and we're going to be going through it. I think it's 16 chapters. So we're going to be on it for a couple of weeks. And once we get done with this book, we'll take another week off and then we'll go into another one. But for right now, this is what we're about to get into. I mean, um, if you guys have it, hopefully you do. I put it, I posted via social media earlier that we were going into this book. Our group, I sent it in the text. I got it on Facebook. I put it on, even had it on YouTube and Instagram. So if you were wondering, on all of those avenues, you saw this is what we're going into. And for us, this is what we have. So if you have the book that I sent out to get a while ago, you should be able to follow along just fine. Amen. So now, I guess we're going to go ahead and get into chapter 1, and let's see what this is about. Once again, the book of Judith, we're going into chapter 1. And this is a break it down discussion, so we need some discussion going on. Amen. Amen. And chapter 1, it goes like this. This is how it starts. It says, in the 12th year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, who reigned over the Assyrians in Nineveh, the great city, in the days of Arphaxad, who reigned over the Medes in Ecbatana, and built around Ecbatana walls of hewn stones, 3 cubits broad, 6 cubits long, and made height of the wall 70 cubits, and its breadth 50 cubits, and set its towers at its gates 100 cubits high, and its breadth and foundation was 60 cubits, and made its gates, even gates that were raised to the height of 70 cubits, and their breadth 40 cubits, for his mighty army to go out of, and the setting and array of his footmen. Even in those days King Nebuchadnezzar made war with the king of Arphaxad in the great plain. This plain is on the borders of Ragah. There came to meet him all that lived in the hill country, and all that lived in Euphrates, Tigris, and Hydaspes, and in the plain of Arioch, the king of Elamines. Many nations of the sons of Chalad assembled themselves to battle. And Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, sent to all who lived in Persia, and to all who lived westward, to those who lived in Cilicia, Damascus, Libanus, Antilibanus, and to all who lived along the sea coast, and to those among the nations that were of Carmel and Gilead, and to the higher Galilee, and the great plain of Esdraelon, and to all who were in Samaria and its cities, and beyond Jordan to Jerusalem, and Bethane, Chelis, Kadesh, the river of Egypt, Talphanis, Ramses, and all to the land of Goshen, until you come above Tanis and Memphis, not Memphis, Tennessee, Memphis, and to all that lived in Egypt, until you came to the borders of Ethiopia. All those who lived in all the land made light of the command of Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, and did not go with him to the war. Hold on. So, what this is saying, Nebuchadnezzar is surrounded by all of those other people. He getting ready to go to war. So, all of these places that I just named is who he sent out to. Hey, we finna go to war. Y'all come help us go to war. And what it's saying, that's a lot of people he reached out to. And what it's saying is all of those people, well, that ain't none of our business, that's him. Like it just said, they made light of him like he wasn't even there. Somebody brought the king something. Hey, man, King Nebuchadnezzar of the Assyrians is about to go to war with whoever, and he wants us to join him. There you go. Okay, anyway, what we going to eat today? And they just kept going about their business. They made light of him like it's nothing. So, that's where we are. Hold on. This here. All those who lived in all the land made light of the command of Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, and did not go with him to war, for they were not afraid of him. But he was before them as one man. They turned away his messengers from their presence without effect and with disgrace. Oh man, they disgraced his messengers. Huh? Then Nebuchadnezzar was exceedingly angry with all this land, and he swore by his throne and kingdom that he would surely be avenged on all the coast of Cilicia, Damascus, and Syria, that he would kill with his sword all the inhabitants of the land of Moab, and the children of Ammon, and all Judea, and all that were in Egypt, until you came to the borders of the two seas. And he set battle and array with his army against King Arphaxad in the 17th year. And he prevailed in his battle, and turned to flight all the army of Arphaxad with all his horses and all his chariots. He became master of his cities, and he came even to Ecbatana, and took the towers, plundered its streets, and turned its beauty into shame. He took Arphaxad in the mountains of Ragar, struck him through with his darts, and utterly destroyed him. To this day he returned with them to Nineveh, he and all his company of various nations, an exceedingly great multitude of men of war, and there he took his ease and banqueted, he and his army, for 120 days. That's the end of chapter 1. So far, I don't know if we have to have a big conversation about this unless somebody got something in it that I didn't hear. But so far, Nebuchadnezzar was going to war with Arphaxad, and he asked all of these people to help. All of the people, it said they embarrassed his messengers, they shamed him, they turned him away like he wasn't nobody. We ain't worried about Nebuchadnezzar anyway. So after he heard all of that and saw how they did his messengers, now he done vowed, I'm finna kill everybody. Pretty much what he said, I'm finna kill everybody. So nobody want to help. They want to embarrass my people. They act like I ain't even here. I'm finna kill everybody. And he actually won against Arphaxad. And it looks like he didn't kill Arphaxad off top. It said like he made him a chief of the armies or whatever. And so now that means Arphaxad's army works for him. And Arphaxad, it tells you he was friends with a whole bunch of other people. So they got a lot of people in these armies. He doesn't kill Arphaxad at first. They start taking over some other stuff. And then he kills Arphaxad once, he gets the soldiers. They're familiar with me. They're working for me. Now he kills them. But his armies and the armies they've taken over are a part of Nebuchadnezzar's army now. Then it says after he's done all that, they finna chill for 120 days. What's that, like 4 months? Yeah, they finna chill for about 4 months, and that's where we ended. Anybody else see anything in there, or no? Might be a no. You didn't see anything, Mrs. Mitchell? Mrs. Mitchell?
Not that I see,
Yeah,
other than he got the one he's supposed to.
yeah. All right. Yep. All right. Walt
And
said
he
nope.
killed them all.
Yeah, right. Walt said nope. That's pretty much it. Yeah, so we got that. All right. Now, he didn't vow to be a killer. We finna see if he is a killer. He said he finna kill everybody. We about to see. Chapter 2. It says, in the 18th year and 22nd day of the first month, there was talk in the house of Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, that he should be avenged on all the land, even as he spoke. He called together all his servants and all his great men, and communicated with them his secret counsel, and concluded the afflicting of all the land out of his own mouth. So he finna kill everybody. And he said it out of his own mouth. They decreed to destroy all flesh which did not follow the word of his mouth. So everybody he asked to help that didn't help, we finna kill them all. And it came to pass, when he had ended his counsel, Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, called Hollow Furnace. I don't know if I like that name, but Hollow Furnace, the chief captain of his army, which was next after him. So if something happened to Nebuchadnezzar, this the dude that's taking over. Next after him, and he said, the great king, the Lord of all the earth, says, behold, you will go out from my presence. So he's calling himself the Lord of all the earth. The great king, this is what he tells his chief. The great king, the Lord of all earth, see his lowercase Lord, Lord of all the earth, says, behold, you will go out from my presence and take with you men who trust in their strength to 120,000 footmen and 12,000 horses and their riders, and you will go out against all the west country because they disobeyed the command of my mouth. You will declare to them that they should prepare earth and water, because I will go out in my wrath against them and will cover the whole face of the earth with the feet of my army. I will give them as plunder to them. Their slain will fill their valleys and brooks, and the river will be filled with their dead until it overflows. I will lead them captives to the utmost parts of all the earth, but you will go out and take all their coasts for me first. If they will yield themselves to you, then you must reserve them for me until the day of their reproof. As for those who are disobedient, your eye will not spare, but you will give them up to be slain, to be plundered in all your land. For as I live, and by the power of my kingdom I have spoken, and I will do this with my hand. Moreover, you will not transgress anything of the commands of your Lord, but you will surely accomplish them, as I have commanded you. You will not defer to do them. So he talking like he God for real. He really think he God. You better not transgress my commands, all this other type of stuff. So, yeah, he thinks he's the Lord. He said, I'm the Lord of all the earth, and you finna go kill everybody like I'm telling you. All right. And it says, moreover, you will not, okay, I got that. 14. So, Holofernes went out from the presence of his Lord and called all the governors, the captains, and officers of the army of Ashur. He counted chosen men for battle, as his Lord had commanded him, to 120,000 and 12,000 archers on horseback. He arranged them as a great multitude is ordered for the war. He took camels and donkeys and mules for their baggage, an exceedingly great multitude, and sheep and oxen and goats without number of their provision, and great store of rations for every man, exceeding much gold and silver out of the king's house. He went out, he and all his army, on their journey to go before King Nebuchadnezzar's, and to cover all the face of the earth westward with their chariots, horsemen, and chosen footmen. A great company of various nations went out with them like locusts, and like the sand of the earth, oh, goodness, for they could not be counted by reason of their multitude. And they departed out of Nineveh 3 days' journey toward the plain of Bechteleth, and encamped from Bechteleth near the mountain which is at the left hand of the upper Cilicia. And he took all his army, his footmen, horsemen, and chariots, and went away from there unto the hill country, and destroyed Put and Lud. I don't know if I'd even want to be living in a place named Put and Lud, but that's just me. But they said they destroyed Put and Lud, and plundered all the children of Rasis and the children of Ishmael, which were along the wilderness to the south of the land of the Chileans. And he went over Euphrates and went through Mesopotamia and broke down all the high cities that were on the river Arbanai until you come to the sea. And he took possession of the borders of Cilicia and killed all that resisted him, and came to the borders of Japheth. which were toward the south, opposite of Arabia. Arabia was around back then. He surrounded all the children of Midian and set their tents on fire and plundered their sheepfolds. He went down into the plain of Damascus in the days of wheat harvest and set all their fields on fire and utterly destroyed the flocks and herds and plundered their cities, laid their plans waste, struck all their young men with the edge of the sword, and the fear and the dread of him fell on those who lived on the seacoast, on those who were in Sidon and Tyre, those who lived in Sur and Osina, and all who lived in Gemnon, those who lived in Ozatus and Ashkelon feared him exceedingly. And that's it for chapter 2. So, the man vowed to kill everybody. He killed the first king, took his army, made it his, took that king's army, took over a couple of places, then killed that king, because now his army is my army. His next right-hand man, he done commanded to go out, murder and kill everybody over the whole land. Everybody around us, we killing. Everybody that denied me when I asked them for help, we killing all of this. Oh, but I guess he wasn't all talk. No, man. He meant that for real. Like, I said it and I meant it. Look, kill everybody. And it says, take 100,000 men. We got 12,000 archers on horseback. He took 100,000. And then it says after that, a whole bunch of other nations that was around, it said they joined in with him. So they probably, hey, man, he going to kill us if we don't join him. Join them and go out and fight. So it was so many people, you couldn't even number them. So now he's just going around killing and taking over. And killing, like he said, people, stocks on fire, you know, people land, he just set it on fire. Yeah, we got our harvest time. Think you done did all kind of work, planting, working the earth, and then you just come out there one day, your stuff on fire. Well, you burnt my stuff. Some people coming in to kill you. Like, they done took over your whole land. This man was not just talking. He actually did it. This is a person whose heart was filled with anger and resentment and hate for him to still be wanting to kill everybody. And he's doing it. That's wild. Now we see why the Assyrians, remember, like, this is what this is saying is correlating with the Bible. Because what did the Bible say? The Assyrians and other people, they came and took over the land of Judah. They took all of that over, right? And it said people were mixing in. This right here in chapter 1 and in chapter 2, like he said, I'm killing everybody in Judea. I'm taking over all of that. So it actually happened. This is talking about it. What happened? It's kind of crazy. It's in the book of Judith. So I guess she going to be tied into this some kind of way, unless Judith is a man's name and we don't know it. He happened to be one of these soldiers or something. I'm like, Judith is tied to this some kind of way, but this man is not taking no prisoners, as Mrs. Mitchell just put on here. He's going around, I'm killing everybody. The Bible already said the Assyrians took over all of this stuff, and this is showing you they did. They came and took over everything. That's wild. Anything y'all caught that I didn't catch? Or y'all want to say, or no?
It just made me think of the song "You and I Know." I want it all. He getting it all.
Don't bring that up. That was a terrible song. That song was horrible. But it does fit right here.
Yeah, it
Like, this
does.
man was not just talking. Like, boy,
Ain't
enough
playing no
talk.
games.
Yeah. You know, he wasn't
He don't
playing
want to
no
play
game.
no games.
Yeah, he wasn't
They know
playing.
his name.
Yeah, they do. And now I say everybody fear him. Now they all scared. Hey, man, that man coming to kill. You know, he out here murdering whole lands and whole thing for real. Like, you can't even number the people he has. You got some people we gonna fight back. Just like on they said we gonna fight back It's like Coming to America, what James Earl Jones said. It's of no consequence. You fighting back ain't gonna do you no good. Y'all finna get murdered. He sat there and said, the people that give in to you, say them till you get back to me. But if they just straight up disobey, kill them. So you got people saying they fighting back. They getting their whole land burnt. They burning people homes. Like you say, people living under tents. They burning your tents. They took no prisoner at all. This is wild. So this is a man that was about that action for real. This is when you need somebody like Samson around. This is when you need Samson. That's why Samson. Why you lay your head in the Delilah's lap? You could have helped us out. We need somebody like you to kill a whole bunch of these people, but you done got killed because you laid your head in the wrong lap. We needed you. Oh, man. Oh, man. But, yeah. Anything else or no? That's it. That's it. We go ahead to chapter 3. Man, I'm about to go to chapter 3 and something just popped in my mind. This is Samson was busy with Delilah. Yes, he done probably got murdered by now, or had to kill himself to regain his stuff by now. But this is where you need Samson. See, remember that person went to the necromancer. I forgot who they brought back alive. I forgot the name, just slipped my mind. Who he brought back alive to talk to it. He should have been. Hey, get Samson back up. I know I ain't supposed to be coming to see you, necromancer person, but look, I need you to resurrect Samson, man. We need him to fight. They got all kind of people. We outnumbered. Yeah, we need Samson. Go on and get him up, necromancer man. We gonna make sure you get paid with the top quality gold. Look, you over there. He wants your daughter. Offer her up. Because without her, we all die anyway. Just give it to the necromancer man so he can get Samson back up. We don't need that. I know. That was a thought came in my mind. Like, at times like this is what Samson was built for. But, all right. Chapter 3. And they sent to him messengers with words of peace, saying, Behold, we the servants of Nebuchadnezzar, the great king, lie before you. Use us as it is pleasing in your sight. Behold our dwellings and all our country, and all our fields of wheat, and all our flocks and herds, and all the sheepfolds of our tents lie before your face. Use them as it may please you. Behold, even our cities and those who dwell in them are your servants. Come and deal with them as it is good in your eyes. So the men came to Holofernes and declared to him according to these words. He came down toward the sea coast, he and his army, and set garrisons in the high cities, and took out of them chosen men for allies. They received him, they and all the country around him, with garlands and dances and timbrels. He cast down all their borders and cut down their sacred groves. It had been given to him to destroy all the gods of the land, that all the nations would worship Nebuchadnezzar only. What I told you. He think he God. Like he said, I'm the Lord of all the land. You're going to do what I say, and you ain't going to transgress none of my commandments. He thinks he's the Lord. But he's sitting here killing everybody, taking their land. Now you see the people, hey, man, we your friends. Use the land as you see fit. We work with you now. Don't kill us like we seen you kill everybody else. It's just, hey, this is all yours. Do what you're going to do. So now he done tore down their borders. It ain't no borders. Everything mine. Ain't no borders. Yeah, Judith will put a stop to his madness. I guess she gonna have to do something. We gonna see. And it says, he cast down all their borders, destroyed them. Nation will worship Nebuchadnezzar only, and that all their tongues and their tribes will call on him as God. Man, look at that. They got to call Nebuchadnezzar God. Then he came toward Esdraelon, near to Dotia, which is opposite the great ridge of Judea. He encamped between Geba, or I don't know if that's Geba or Jeba, but he encamped between Geba and Scythopolis. Boy, these names. He was there a whole month that he might gather together all the baggage of his army. So now he chilling and plotting for a whole month. Chapter 4. These chapters going quick. The sons of Israel that lived in Judea heard all that Holofernes, the chief captain of Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, had done to the nations, and how he had plundered all their temples and destroyed them utterly. They were exceedingly afraid before him, and they were troubled for Jerusalem and for the temple of the Lord their God, because they had newly come up from the captivity, and all the people of Judea were recently gathered together, and the vessels, the altar, and the house were sanctified after being profaned. And they sent into every coast of Samaria, to Cone, to Beth-horon, Belmam, Jericho, to Chaba, Assorah, and to the valley of Salem, and they occupied beforehand all the tops of the high mountains, fortified the villages that were in them, stored supplies for the provision of war, for their fields were newly reaped. His name. Jehoiakim, the chief priest, who was in those days at Jerusalem, wrote to those who lived in Bethulia and Betamos, my goodness, Betamustim, I think. Look, if one of y'all could pronounce that better than me, say it. Go ahead and say it. I ain't even gonna be a hater, but
Better Miss Thing.
what? Better miss thing?
Miss
All right.
Thing.
Better miss thing. All right, we got it. We got it. Better miss thing. Good job, Mrs. Mitchell. I blew it. I'm telling you. These boys just go around. These names sound like some children just said this one day. You know, they'll just make up stuff and say all kind of like a child just said it. And they, you know what? That's the name of the city. What he just said. That's what it sounds like. But, all right. It says, which is opposite of Esdraelon, toward the plain that is near to Doasaim, charging them to seize on the ascents of the hill country, because by them was the entrance into Judea, and it was easy to stop them from approaching, since the approach was narrow, with space for 2 men at the most. And the sons of Israel did as Joachim, the chief priest, had commanded them, as did the senate of all the people of Israel which lived at Jerusalem. And every man of Israel cried to God with great earnestness. And with great earnestness they humbled their souls. Look, I bet you did. I bet you did humble your soul. Y'all see this man killing and taking over everything else. Now y'all done went to the priest. What we need to do. Now y'all listening. Look, all the other times, the Lord telling y'all stuff, y'all went off and did what you wanted to do, so the priest, y'all need to do this, yeah, whatever. Now y'all see this man killing everything, burning everything, taking over everything. Now y'all done went to the priest. What we need to do this. Y'all doing it. Now, so they done humbled themselves before the Lord. They went with earnestness. They done humbled their souls. Yeah, I bet you have. See? Under the threat of death or murder or being burnt or chopped up or whatever, yeah, you'll humble yourself before the Lord then. It says, they, their wives, their children, their cattle, and every sojourner, hireling, and servant bought with their money put sackcloth on their loins. Every man and woman of Israel and the little children and the inhabitants of Jerusalem fell before the temple and cast ashes on their head and spread their sackcloth before the Lord. They put sackcloth around the altar. They cried to the God of Israel earnestly with one consent. See, everybody together, they praising the Lord. Look, They even put the sackcloth and stuff on the animals. They wasn't taking no chances. Put it on the animals, the kids, the wives, strangers just coming through here, put this on. Hiring people, I done hired you, put this on. Servant, put this on. And hey, man, we ain't playing no games. Put on this holy sackcloth right here. We got to pray.
Look, they even put it on the people that's traveling through the city.
Yeah,
That ain't from there.
that's what people. Man, I don't live here. Shut up and put this stuff on before you get us all killed. I ain't asked you if you live here or not. Put this sackcloth on before we stone you. I'm like, these boys was not playing. Nebuchadnezzar coming. He gonna kill everybody. People just traveling through the land. Hey man, I'm just a visitor here. You know, my cousin live here. Other than that, I'm about to go back to where I don't care what it is. You putting this on. Homeless man, I'm just passing through. We don't care, homeless man. Put this on. That's wild, man. Yeah, direct threat of death. It'll do that. I'm like, they put it on the animals. Animals don't even know what's going on. Like, they didn't put this on me for. Yeah. And it said, but another thing I caught, it said they all with one consent. It wasn't nobody, well, while they praying for this, Lord, look, I'm going to pray for this. They all prayed for the same thing, that he would not give their children as prey, their wives as plunder, the cities of their inheritance to destruction, and the sanctuary to being profaned and being made a reproach for the nations to rejoice at. So they all prayed those things, the same things. The Lord heard their voice and looked at their affliction. The people continued fasting many days in all Judea and Jerusalem before the sanctuary of the Lord Almighty. And Joachim, the chief priest, and all the priests that stood before the Lord, and those who ministered to the Lord, had their loins dressed in sackcloth, and offered the continual burnt offering, the vows and free gifts of the people. They had ashes on their hats. They cried to the Lord with all their power, that he would look on all the house of Israel for good. Oh, I got to keep reading. We going to read 5. We're going to go for a little bit. I got to see what's happening here. Any of y'all want to chime in and say anything, or y'all have anything to say about this situation? Nobody got nothing? All right. I'm going to go into 5 too. But this mug saying even the priests, they got the sack. They said they girded their loins with the sackcloth. They got it. Look, if you was a crooked preacher then, or you was doing some stuff for your own good, or worried about yourself, I bet you stopped all of that. That woman you was seeing on the side of your wife, hey, don't come around here no more. I'm sorry. You was told, don't come around here no more. The Lord gonna get mad and we all gonna get killed. You need to go on back to your husband. I don't know you no more. We gotta repent. We all praying. But baby, get from around here. I'm praying. I need to put the ashes on. Lord, I'm sorry I did that. Forgive me, Lord. Don't kill us all. If you was a crooked preacher, you get right then. This is bad, because if not, all of us gonna get killed. Like, you had to be right. That was to get right from the Lord. Yeah, like you said, they all cried. Look, everybody fasting. That's sad. When everything going good, the Lord be trying to get us all to be with one accord. We don't do it. This man finna come kill us, rape our women, kill our kids, make them slaves, kill all of us, take the land we done worked so hard for, do all this stuff. Now, all of a sudden, we fasting, we praying, we doing what the Lord tell us. The priest doing this. We done sanctified the animals. We done sanctified the strangers, the passerbyers. We done sanctified our workers. Look, remember that sometimes they had hired workers that didn't even believe in the Lord. You know, but they just did some of the traditions because they lived in your house. But they didn't believe. We done sanctified the workers, everybody. If it moved If it was alive, we sanctified it. Like we done put some sackcloth around it. If it was alive, we trying to live. And you better go to the Lord and be right. Like they had to do all of that. That's crazy. Somebody say that never happens unless there's a threat. That's right. People are hard-headed. Sometimes it take all that to get their attention. Look at the time of the floods. Everybody wants to be one. They're scared to death. They don't have appetites. They can't eat because they're scared to go die. Somebody might have been stress eating, but the stress eating, Lord, they gonna get us. Man, if you don't put that food down and get over here and get to praying and fasting, we gonna stone you. So you gonna get killed by Nebuchadnezzar, you gonna get stoned by us. Which one? Yeah, man. This is There's some crazy stuff that's going on, man. But now they done all came together. Chapter 5. Like I said, I want to know what's finna happen. I got to keep reading, man. Chapter 5. Holofernes, the chief captain of the army of Ashur, was told that the sons of Israel had prepared for war, had shut up the passages of the hill country, and fortified all the tops of the high hills, and had laid impediments in the plains. Then he was exceedingly angry, and he called all the princes of Moab, and the captains of Ammon, and all the governors of the sea coast. And he said to them, Tell me now, you sons of Canaan, who are these people who dwell in the hill country? What are the cities that they inhabit? How large is their army? Where is their power and their strength? What king is set over them to be the leader of their army? Why have they turned their backs, that they should not come and meet me, more than all that dwell in the west? Then Archior, the leader of all the children of Ammon, said to him, Let my lord now hear a word from the mouth of your servant, and I will tell you the truth concerning these people who dwell in this hill country, near to the palace where you dwell. No lie will come out of the mouth of your servant. These people are descended from the Chaldeans. They sojourned before this in Mesopotamia, because they did not want to follow the gods of their fathers, which were in the land of the Chaldeans. They departed from the way of their parents and worshiped the God of heaven, and the God whom they knew. Their parents cast them out from the face of their gods, and they fled into Mesopotamia and sojourned there many days. Oh. What was that book? That book we read. We read it probably like 3 books ago. And it's in the Bible. That book is in the Bible too. Ezra or Esdras, I think it's Ezra. Remember,
Ezra.
remember how it was saying all those people had came together and they started building Judea back up. The king had gave them all of this stuff. They started building it back up. And then God had told them, yeah, y'all building it back up, y'all doing this, but y'all done took on a whole bunch of women as wives. Even you pastors and preachers, y'all done took on a bunch of wives that don't even believe in the Lord. And y'all having kids that don't really believe because the mothers don't believe. Like y'all took in the wrong women, and then they had to do that mass divorce and all of that. But remember then, it was saying the people of God were building it. And then it said other people came in and started helping them build it, right? Even some that didn't believe were helping them build it, because the king then had told them, help build all of this, because their God is the true God. He done showed it to us, and we don't want no problems with them. So help build all of this, help them do whatever they need to be done. So what this just said, when the dude is asking who these people are, what he's saying is, hey, some of these people were with the Chaldeans and all of that, but they kicked their kids out because the kids started serving the God of heaven. So it was the young people. What this is saying, with that time, When the people of God started building everything up, see, that's why we got to read all this stuff. It goes together. While they were building all of this up, the young people came and started helping build. We're going to help build this. We're going to help build that. And it's kind of like some of the other ones that came in that didn't believe. And the people of God was looking at them. Hey, they fine. They look good. We're going to have this. I'm going to make this with my wife. God got mad at some of that. They don't even believe. You shouldn't even be talking to them because they don't believe. But now you done took him in his wives and had kids with them. All of that. But what it was saying is some went back to serving the gods of the land. Their kids were like, you know what? We're not serving the gods of this land because we see they worthless. We're going to go over here with the people of God and we're going to start serving with them. So that, and like a bunch of people, remember it said a bunch of people got saved at that time too. Some people still refuse to be saved, but it told you a bunch of people got saved at that time. So now what this is saying is the younger people, they wanted to be saved. Their parents still wanted to serve the false gods, and the parents kicked the young folks out, kicked them out of their homes. Y'all ain't serving the same God we serve. Get up out of here. And they went with the people of God, joined together with them, so now they all like one. They all one in the body because they all serve the Lord. So this is what he's giving them. This is what happened. Their parents kicked them out, and they done went over there, and now they all serve the God of heaven because they didn't want to serve the Chaldean gods of the land. See, all this go together. It says their parents cast them out from the face of their gods, and they fled into Mesopotamia and sojourned there many days. Then their God commanded them to depart from the place where they sojourned and to go into the land of Canaan. They lived there and prospered with gold and silver. Look at that. Right when they started serving the real Lord, they started prospering. Prospered with gold and silver and with exceedingly much cattle. Then they went down into Egypt, for a famine covered all the land of Canaan. They sojourned there until they had grown up. They became a great multitude there, so that one could not count the population of their nation. Then the king of Egypt rose up against them and dealt subtly with them and brought them low, making them labor and brick and made them slaves. They cried to their God, and he struck all the land of Egypt with incurable plagues. So the Egyptians cast them out of their sight. God dried up the Red Sea before them and brought them into the way of Sinai, Kadesh, and Barnea, and they cast out all that lived in the wilderness. They lived in the land of the Amorites, and they destroyed by their strength everyone in Heshbon, passing over Jordan. They possessed all the hill country. They cast out before them the Canaanite, the Perizzite, the Jebusite, the Shechemite, and all the Girgashites. I don't know how I was able to say all those names real good. And they lived in that country many days. And while they did not sin before their God, they prospered, because God, who hates iniquity, was with them. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many severe battles, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs. The temple of their God was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by their adversaries. And they have now returned to their God, and have come up from the dispersion where they were dispersed, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. And now, my Lord and Master, if there is any error in this people, and they sin against their God, we will consider what this thing is in which they stumble, and we will go up and overcome them. But if there is no lawlessness in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their God before them, and we will be a reproach before all the earth. Look at that. This dude don't even follow the Lord, and he already know that. I'm telling you now, hollow furnace, You and Nebuchadnezzar, it don't really matter what y'all gonna do. These people aren't like regular people. If we go up there and they've been sinning and they're in any kind of sin, their Lord will let us take them over. But if we go up there and they haven't been sinning, we're going to get killed. And we're going to be a joke to everybody. Like, they're going to look. This man took over everything. Went up against the people of God, they lost. But he already know. If they're sinning, God ain't going to protect them. If they are sinning, if they aren't sinning, God will protect them. That should be a lesson for us. If you in sin, you sinning and you doing some stuff, the Lord is not going to have your back. If you living right, the Lord got you. This man is breaking it down. This is how it is. So I don't understand why we try to get off into all of this stuff and then expect the Lord to have us. This man don't even serve the Lord, and he know that. If they're sinning, the Lord ain't got them. We good. We can beat them. If they're not sinning, we going to get killed. That's something we need to know, y'all. All right. Iniquity, but they departed. Captain, I got to see where it was. Now they returned. All right, 22. It came to pass, when Archiel had finished speaking these words, all the people standing around the tent murmured. The great men of Holofernes and all that lived by the seaside and in Moab said that he should kill him. For they said, we will not be afraid of the sons of Israel. Hold on. For they said, we will not be afraid of the sons of Israel, because behold, they are a people that has no power nor might to make the battle strong. Therefore, now we will go up, and they will be prey to be devoured by all your army, Lord Holofernes. All right then, man. So now they done got some bad advice. They got some terrible advice. They listening to this man tell you what kind of people they are. And now your counsel, man, kill that fool. Look, these people ain't got no power. We finna go up there and we finna kill them. Behold, they don't have no power. We finna kill them in front of everybody. That is what his counsel said. After they just received word from this dude that don't even serve the Lord and know these are people you don't want to mess with when they're doing right by the Lord. So that's the end of chapter 5, man. Anybody got anything to say about that or no? Man, people quiet. They ain't got nothing to say. Nobody has nothing to say. What y'all doing, man? What is y'all doing? All right. This is going to be the last chapter for the night. This is going to be the last chapter, chapter 6. Oh, go on ahead.
Oh, I was just going back to the point of the children and the parents.
Oh, yeah,
Looking
go
at,
ahead.
yeah, just looking back at that, the children, like some parents believe that children, they, well, the parents are always right, but we see there that they are not.
Right.
The children walking the right way, wanting to walk the right way, and the parents are the hindrance.
Mm-hmm. And they kicked you out the house. You don't want to serve.
But that's better for them,
I'm just finna make up a
because then
God.
you're gonna be under the house, in the house of a foreign god, a different god.
Yeah, yeah,
Now they can be amongst the ones that believe like they believe. They thought they was doing something to cause them to be hindered, when actually they just pushed them to their blessing
right.
because they prospered
They said they prospered right when they started serving the Lord. They got gold, silver, and cattle. They
and
started
cattle.
prospering. But I'm like, you at the
So
house
they
trying
had
to,
evidence of their faith.
Yeah, that we serving the right God. I'm like, you
Yeah.
got me trying to make blood sacrifices to Bethumala over there. I'm just making up something. Like you gotta Bethumala, and you gotta give blood and sacrifice kids, and ain't nothing going on good here. It's bad and it's terrible. It's just getting worse. We don't want to serve that. We went over there and helped them build that temple, and we saw what was going on. Just helping build a temple. That's letting us know we serving the wrong God. Like we shouldn't be serving Bethumala or whatever you done made up over here. Like that's not what's up. And the parents get mad and kick you out. They kick you out. Y'all all get together and look at what happened. All the ones that got kicked out, they banded together. We believe in the same thing. We saw what we saw. We know who the real God is. Excuse me. We know who the real God is. We saw what we saw. They all banded together. They didn't do no every man for himself. They didn't do no I sing better than you sing, so I'm finna start this denomination, and you pray better than me, and I think it should be about this and that. So we start different facts and facets of praise and all of that here. No, we all know what we know. We saw what we saw. We believe the same thing. We banded together. Once they banded together, the Lord had them go somewhere, and then, all right, now y'all can go over here, join with the rest of the believers. Why you got your hand up? Why you got your hand up?
Oh, I was just waiting till you finished.
Oh yeah, put your hand down. Put your hand down and go on and talk.
I'm here. But I said, no, not you. Ashley is here. But looking at when the Lord prospered the children, it wasn't. He didn't cause them to prosper while they were under the roof of those that are worshiping other gods. He caused them to prosper after he left. After they left
Yeah.
under the roof, so he didn't want them to be. From just looking at how I'm looking at it, he didn't want them to think that their God prospered them.
Yeah.
He want
See?
them to see that it's a big difference between your God and me.
See?
I'm gonna prosper my children.
Yeah. 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 Come on with it, Mrs. Mitchell. Come on with it. Come on with it. You trying to get a word?
But just looking at the prospering, I'm gonna prosper my children, and while you worship that God, you're gonna become desolate.
Yeah. 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 What else you got to say? You coming on with the word? You feel fire shut off in your bones, huh? That sounded good and country. You feeling fire shut off in your bones? Come on with that word. Cause that's what she's saying, that's major. That's major. If y'all heard that, that is completely true. While you in the house of your parents serving Bethusmala, whatever I said earlier, you serving Bethusmala, whatever God they trying to make you serve, y'all not prospering, nothing's happening. You know this is a fake God. We can't keep doing it. Your parents mad at you. You ain't serving the God. Okay. I'm not gonna disrespect you, but we know y'all on some BS. We ain't serving that God. So now the parents just, you know what? When you don't want to serve them, get out. Right when you get out, we help those people. We know what we saw. We know the true God. Now you start prospering. It's like the Lord is letting you know, I'm with you. Y'all are right. Even though they kicked you out, it was the right thing. Because now you can freely choose to serve me if you want to. That opened them up for a whole lot of stuff. Now God knows these people truly do want to serve me. Because they could have just kept serving whatever that was they had made with that wood, that brass over there they was doing. You know, they could have kept doing that. But they chose to serve me. And on top of that, they have tangible evidence that I'm serving the right God. While I was serving Bethusmala over there, we was barely had slop or soup to eat. I done got over here, we got cattle. Now I'm eating ribs. I got steaks. We got hamburger meat. You know,
Look,
we
this
got
made me
oxtail.
think.
We got all kind of stuff to eat over here. And I got gold and silver that I never had. With Methuselah, I barely was making it.
This made me think about the part of the prayer, leaving your family and the ones that you know
Hmm.
and trusting in the Lord to give you
Yeah,
just what you need. He
yeah,
gave them more than what they need. He gave them abilities to sustain in a new land with new people, plus gave them an abundance.
man. See, that's that word you coming with, Mrs. Smith. That's that word that's in your belly. Look, your family, you couldn't even achieve this with your family.
That should even show you how you need to be separate from your family
Exactly. With your
to
family,
prosper
you
and to
didn't
have
achieve this.
purpose.
You had to go off with a bunch of strangers that
Yes.
just believe the same thing you believe, and you
Mm,
accomplish more with them. Y'all
mm,
banded together as a
mm,
family, more with the strangers that had the same belief
yes.
than what
That's
you
your new
accomplished
family.
with your family, with your blood.
Mm-hmm.
You accomplished more with
Mm-hmm.
people you didn't even know than you accomplished with your blood. I'm telling
Let's
you right
say
now.
it.
I'm telling you right now, man. I'm telling.
Amen.
Look, hey man,
Let's
say
say
man.
people
Look, man,
people
that's a
getting
word
stuck
right
on
there.
family. You struggling because you still with your family. You need to move out.
Hey man,
Go out, be with those that are with
that's the word right
you.
there, man. I'm feeling real good and
Ooh,
country, like they be saying.
ooh.
What is that? Baptist, Pentecostal. All right then, Doc. Come on now, Doc. They be hitting you with all that. Come on now, Doc. Willie won't he? Whatever they be saying. All of that type of stuff right there. That's a
Come
word.
from among them and be ye separate, says
That
the
that's a
Lord.
word. You with your family, they into all this other stuff that ain't got nothing to do with God. They
And
mad,
you know it.
you not into it. You not
But look,
prospering, they not prospering. But right when you put your foot down, I'm not doing that. They kick you out. You get what it look like all of them got kicked out around the same time. And then they just happen to band together. And now you got more than what you had with your family.
but look at what they did though. They stood their ground.
Exactly.
They
But
stood
that's
their
how we
ground. They
we're
wasn't
supposed to do that
cowards.
with the
They didn't
Lord.
fall. No, but I know that. But still, others still sometimes falter when it comes to their faith and what they believe.
Yeah.
They stood on what they believed. They stood on what they saw, and they knew it within them. That was just part of the prayer.
It would. But
They
see,
knew that.
but like
No
we
matter
say,
if
you
they
don't.
stood alone in their house. Just picture one individual in the house by themselves, and this is a collective of one individual from different households. That one individual, no matter how many family members are in that house, they serving other gods, but I'm the only one that ain't serving the other gods. I'm serving the true God.
Hmm.
I'm not following y'all. I'm following God. That's who I trust. And I can be the outlier. I can be isolated.
Isolated for the Lord, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be isolated in your own stuff that ain't good, because then that's when the
No, but
enemy
they were
gets you
isolated
isolated.
in their belief and faith in the Lord
Right.
and what he has done, what they saw him do. And they knew without what did I say, without a shadow of a doubt. What did he
Hmm.
say?
But that's
They knew it.
that's like it says in Revelation. It said cowards, which is why it
They
said
ain't get
cowards gonna
making it
go to
in the
hell.
kingdom.
It said
Yeah.
cowards
You
going to
gotta
hell.
be
I'm
able
like,
to
how can you
stand
coward? You got to be able to stand up for something. You can't
and know
be
with what you believe.
you can't be one of those. Well, I don't want no kind of confrontation, or I shy away from it, or somebody stand up. Hey, this is what it is. You gonna do this, and you kind of just put your head down and don't stand up for nothing. Like you can't
Because you
be
don't
a
want to
coward.
rustle no feathers.
Right. You can't be a coward. You're going to have to stand for the
At
Lord.
one time or another.
You're going to have to stand for them.
Yeah. And
They
I think
chose to
part of
stand
that is
for them.
why they got probably that other stuff too. In addition to because they stood when it was uncomfortable, when they weren't popular, they stood.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
reward for to me, reward for standing.
So now they done stood for the Lord.
And now, like you say in scripture, where it's Moses and David, you have to take care of us, because then they'll look and see how you worshiping this God and he ain't even take care of you. He got to take care of them,
Right, right,
because they stood and said that I trust, I believe in him. He got to take care of him, because then if not, that makes him look bad.
right. How these people
And he
doing
ain't gonna do
everything you
that.
asked them to do, and they done stood up for
Yeah,
you, and you kind of just, yeah, whatever. Nah, man. Nah.
he's faithful to the faithful.
Yeah. Yeah. See? I'm trying to tell y'all, man, some people stuck in this family first stuff. You seen it right here. Family first got them nowhere. They got kicked out because they stood for the Lord. They started prospering immediately. They said they were getting stuff fast. You're gonna have to, some of y'all gonna have to leave your families, man. I don't know who that's for. If it's for anybody in here on this call or that's watching at any capacity, some of y'all got to leave your family. Because you see right here, your family could be the ones giving you habits or teaching you stuff that's going to separate you from the Lord. And once you finally stand up and start walking in the Lord on your own, He going to put you with like-minded people that believe what's right. And that's probably when you will start prospering. But as long as you trying to, my family, my family, my family, that could be wrong.
You ain't trusting in the Lord, you trusting in your family.
Right. These people stood. And now you got an enemy knocking at the door. Oh, think about this. The land that their parents was on just got taken over. They just got murdered and killed.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that, you got to pray to Methuselah or whatever y'all was talking, got y'all murdered in the end. We stepped out, chose to do what was right, contrary to everything that everybody was telling us. The Lord prospered us, He blessed us, and now we're in the land and among people that we can be protected. While y'all just got your tents burned up and just got taken over and murdered. That's crazy. If that's not a message, you got to stand with the Lord over your family. If your family, they believe what's right, cool, you can stand with them. But if they don't believe what's right and they making excuses to do all kind of stuff, and they, yeah, it says this, but you know, we can do this. Hey, they
Scripture
doing all
tell
of
you to
that.
flee from them.
Yeah, that's the wrong stuff right there. See what I'm saying? Y'all gonna end up getting burnt and taken over. That's what the man just told them. As long as they not living in no kind of sin, the Lord gonna stand up for them. Now, if they living in sin, He not gonna stand up for them, and we good. So that's a 50-50 chance that we take when we go over there. Are they in the right? Is God mad at them? Or are they in the wrong? Yeah, man.
But the story, the testimonies of the Lord is known by all. That's how Rahab knew. Like, no, I know your Lord is real,
Yeah, I know your
because the
God is
word
real.
got out.
We done heard. He parted the sea.
Yeah,
This man here know the history. Look at that. He
yeah.
knows the history of them. This is how it started. Like, dude, who are these people? Who the king they answer to? Who's their God? Who's the leader? Who's this and who's that? Look, man, I'm going to tell you what's going down. Like I'm in the city. I'm going to tell you what's going down. And not one jive gonna come out my mouth. I ain't lying at all. That's what he told me. I'm not lying. Not one lie is gonna come out my mouth. I'm not gonna jive you, man. Look, these people, this is where
Not
they come
child.
from. This is where they come from. They started like this. Then it went to here. Then it went to there. Then it went down there. Somebody made them slaves. The Lord struck down the whole country. Then they tried to pursue them. He dried up the sea so they can cross it. They got over here. They took over the giants. They took over this here. They took over that there. They did this. They did that. Then after a while, they started doing some bad stuff again. And what happened? The Lord had all kind of people come tear up the land and take it over. And now, they just now getting back right with the Lord. And he started giving them some of the stuff back. And they got new people with them now. This is what's going on. And then you still sit there and people, man, kill this fool. We finna go over there and we finna take this over. We finna kill them too. All right, man. I'm like, this man know the whole history, and he not even a believer. Like, he don't even serve the Lord, which is crazy on his behalf. How you know
Yeah,
all of
that's
that
what
and
I
you
was
still
thinking
won't serve the
about.
Lord?
You see the evidence and you don't, hey man, as king, no, we need to be serving that Lord.
And you still won't serve the Lord. That's wild. You got people now that
That's
see all
that
kind of stuff
evil
going
at
on and
heart.
still won't serve the Lord.
Evil at heart. Maybe he'll turn at the end.
If he ain't dead
Maybe.
at the end, that's why we'll see. If he live long enough, we will see. All right. Chapter 6, the last chapter for the day. It says, and when the disturbance of the men that were around the council had ceased, Holofernes, the chief captain of the army of Ashur, said to Achior and to all the children of Moab before all the people of the foreigners, and who are you, Achior, and the hirelings of Ephraim, that you have prophesied among us today, and have said that we should not make war with the race of Israel, because their God will defend them? And who is God but Nebuchadnezzar? Oh, there you go with this. He will send out his might and will destroy them from the face of the earth, and their God will not deliver them. But we, his servants, will strike them as one man. They will not sustain the might of our horses, for with them we will burn them up. Their mountains will be drunken with their blood. Their plains will be filled with their dead bodies. Their footsteps will not stand before us, but they will surely perish, says King Nebuchadnezzar, Lord of all the earth. For he said, the words that I have spoken will not be in vain. But you, Archiar, hireling of Ammon, who have spoken these words in the day of your iniquity, will see my face no longer from this day, until I am avenged of the race of those that came out of Egypt. And then the sword of my army and the multitude of those who serve me will pass through your sides. Goodness. Well, he said they finna kill him. And you will fall among their slain when I return. Then my servants will bring you back unto the hill country, and will set you in one of the cities of the ascents. You will not perish until you are destroyed with them. And if you hope in your heart they will not be taken, do not let your countenance fall. I have spoken it, and none of my words will fall to the ground. Oh, yeah, so these folks think they the Lord for real. He's saying his word ain't going to return to him void. All right. And he done told the man, since you done prophesied, you know all the history, and you sitting here advising us not to go up there. All right, then. It's only one God, King Nebuchadnezzar. That's what he's saying. And for you to prophesy with them and tell us something like that, cool. When we get up here and kill them, we're going to kill you too. If we kill them, we're going to kill you too. You're going to die with them. And I'm like, at this point, he might as well convert. Like, you better convert. You're not serving the Lord, but you finna get killed for telling the people they serve the Lord, we might lose. So you might as well go on and convert, man. But hey, that's just me. And it says, then Holofernes commanded his servants who waited in his tent to take Achior and bring him back to Bethulia. Oh, I just made them. This is sad. I made that word up a while ago, like as a fake. I just made it up. And then look on here, and that's an actual place. I told you. Some of these cities sound like words they just made up and say, yeah, that's going to be the name. All right. And deliver him into the hands of the sons of Israel. So his servants took him and brought him out of the camp into the plain, and they moved from the midst of the plains into hill country, and came to the springs that were under Bethulia. When the men of the city saw them on the top of the hill, they took up their weapons and went out of the city against them to the top of the hill. Every man that used the sling kept them from coming up and cast stones against them. They took cover under the hill, bound Archier, cast him down, left him at the foot of the hill, and went away to their lord. But the sons of Israel descended from their city and came to him and untied him, led him away into Bethulia, and presented him to the rulers of their city, which were in those days Ozias, the son of Micah, and the tribe of Simeon, and Chabaris, the son of Gathaniel, good Lord, and Charmis, the son of Melchiel, Then they called together all the elders of the city, and all their young men ran together with their women to the assembly. They set Archiar in the midst of all their people. Then Ozias asked him what had happened. He answered and declared to them the words of the council of Holofernes, and all the words that he had spoken in the midst of the princes of the children of Ashur, and all the great words that Holofernes had spoken against the house of Israel. Then the people fell down and worshipped God and cried, saying, O Lord God of heaven, behold their arrogance, and pity the low estate of our race. Look on the face of those who are sanctified to you this day. They comforted Achiar and praised him exceedingly. Then Ozias took him out of the assembly into the house and made a feast for the elders. They called on the God of Israel for help all that night. That's the end of chapter
You won't
6.
let nothing just come up on you.
Look at that. Achiar, you a down low believer. You done followed the whole history of these people. Now you end up with them. Because the people that told you, yeah, you finna go over there and die with them. And now, this is kind of, if y'all have ever seen that movie 300, this is kind of like that. In 300, they had an army, it was just the size of 300 people. And they were going up against the whole Persian army. That was huge. And they were like, it's physically no way that those 300 can kill thousands and thousands and thousands of people, because the Persian army was going around taking over everywhere. All the people that they took over, they had to join the Persian army. So now you got all of these people and they're coming up against the Roman army, and the whole thing was how they were coming into Rome. It was a narrow passageway. It was only like for the whole army, this is the only way you can get in. So like they said, it don't matter how many people they got. If we in shape and we got stamina, they all got to come through this little narrow way. We can kill them. That's what the movie was about. We can kill them. What they just said is here, how they were set up. This Nebuchadnezzarian army, they have to go through, they got to climb up a mountain and go through this narrow way. That's the only way they can get in. So it's shaping up. It's already looking bad for you, bro. Like, this the only way you can get in. You just going to overcome the people with numbers. Y'all got to climb a mountain. You're going to be tired when you get up here. And then you're going to have to beat the people that's already up here. They have the position. In the military, you got to be cold to take a person out of their position. They're looking down on you. You got to try to look up and get past them. To get them out of position, you got to be cold to do that. They have position. You're going to be tired. Y'all just tried to bring this man up the hill. And look, they said they was hitting them with slingshots. They had slings. Like they got a bunch of Davids out there. Slinging the thing around, hitting people with rocks. And it was time they started getting pelted so much, we ain't going to make it. They done turned around, went to the bottom of the hill, just tie him up and leave him here. They tied him up and left him, and they went on their way. And then the people of Israel came down and found him tied up down there. Like, this is already looking bad. And y'all haven't even really got started yet. These people got slingshots. Y'all got archers and all kind of stuff. They had some slingshots, and they already done turned y'all back a little bit. So, yeah. It's reading. I want to see what else is going to happen. I keep reading this, but I got to stop. I gotta stop. We gotta have something. Like we gotta have something to go over next week. They done read that whole book in one bid. Yeah, I would keep reading, so I'm gonna have to stop. So I'm not cheating and going forward and all of that. But anybody, anything y'all want to say before we get done for the night? Anything y'all want to say? Mr. Mitchell put on here the things. He said Holofernes was looking at them with strategy. Yeah, he was. But with all the stuff he finna try, it's not finna work. That's what it seemed like.
I say you see the children of Israel were good-hearted people. They untied the man.
Yeah, and brought him in.
Yeah.
They
And
untied
they
him.
took him before the elders. They didn't hide him. Didn't want nobody to know. No, they took him to the right people
Yeah.
to let them know.
Then sat there, what do you know? Well, this is what they all said, man. They finna kill you. People had said, after they said that, look at your people in this pitiful estate we in. Look at this, Lord. Get them for their arrogance, Lord. Get them. We're going to call the elders and all of that, and we're going to have a feast. We got to seek the Lord all night. So now they done took shifts. You finna pray at this time. Once you tired, you going to sleep, wake me up. I'm going to be praying and fasting and walking around. We need the prayer warriors for real now. You know, we got all night. We're going to be in shifts. Pray. Wake up. Because if not, we don't do this. Our very lives depend on what we're doing. We got to come to the Lord for real. So they all coming to the Lord. This is very serious business. But yeah, man. Anybody else got anything? Because if not, hey, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night if you don't have nothing else. Anybody? Going once, going twice. Sugar and spice and everything nice. All right, so it's like this right here. We're going to be back next week, starting chapter 7. Chapter 7 on the bid. Book of Judith, chapter 7 on the bid. But we're going to see you all this Saturday, same time, 9:45 like normal. And then we're going to get next Wednesday, chapter 7 in the book of Judith. All right? Well, enjoy the rest of your night. We love y'all. See you later.